Okay, recording this video after close trade Wednesday, 15th of August 2012. Well, a really kind of frustrating, difficult couple of days to trade. Today we only had 0.9 million contracts traded, another extremely kind of low volume, low range day. I think the range was only about 6.5 points or something crazy. So very difficult if you're looking for kind of 4-point profit targets to pull that out of a range of 6.5 points or so. So I found myself kind of chasing 4 and then moving it back to 3, and then getting out with 1s or 2s, and it was just very, very frustrating. Today made 2 points after 3 trades, but yesterday I lost 2.5 after 3 trades. So not much to say, just that it's a difficult kind of environment to trade right now. I've been reading some things saying that the volume's kind of collapsed ever since Night Capital kind of got into trouble. I don't know about that. I just prefer to think this is kind of summer doldrums and just everybody's kind of away. Although we had quite a lot of news flow today. We had some numbers coming out: CPI, Empire State Manufacturing, industrial production, housing market. A bunch of numbers kind of came out, but just didn't generate anything. So not particularly sure where we're going with this. We're certainly not kind of heading down, but we're running out of time in terms of these weekly support holding on better sine wave. I'll kind of run through those charts. But on the other side of things, there are some interesting things happening, for example, in the bond market. And I just brought up the 10-year interest rates here. The same picture for the 5 and the 30, but what you can see on the 10-year here, we had on the daily chart pullback to end of trend, kind of bottomed just after the beginning of July, and we've just broken through a resistance level here into a little bit of an uptrend. When you go to the weekly chart, same thing, pullback to end of trend, really significant level kind of over the last couple of weeks down here at 1.6, and on the monthly chart, we're coming back above the support level here that we've been playing around for all year and a little bit of last year. So we've kind of seen this story once before. Last year when we were worried about the debt ceiling and kind of the federal budget, we also had a similar type kind of spike in rates, and we're getting it a little bit again this time. So and it's translating into some fairly big moves on the bond contracts. This is again 10-year, looking at the prices or the futures market here, the continuous contract TY on TradeStation, but on the daily chart just mirrors the interest rates, and you can use better sine wave on the interest rates, and you can use the whole picture, sine wave momentum and pro-am on the charts themselves, and you can see pullback to end of trend. We had the exhaustion buying on the left shoulder, which is nice. Then we get the bearish divergence. We come back up to test Rambo pattern right at the high there, just a little bit of a push through on the resistance on end of trend. Bunch of blue professional bars taking positions. We've broken the lows of that. This last little up bar here, you can see, was amateur kind of up bar into that little kind of testing area, bang, kind of fallen way through support. So that's kind of the daily chart mirroring that falling through resistance on the interest rates. When you go to the weekly chart, same thing, pull back to end of trend. There's that exhaustion buying, and that test back up with amateur up bars into a Rambo pattern, bang, double top, and we've kind of fallen away. So it's interesting what the bond market's kind of doing at the moment, which is one of the reasons why I'm a little bit kind of bullish on the upside in terms of the risk on charts at the moment. Just we're just hanging around this 1400 level, maybe trying to make a run for it, but not very successfully kind of lately. On the euro chart, we've also had a couple of amateur down bars kind of down here. So we've had this, it's not a totally satisfactory kind of bottoming pattern, exhaustion, selling, bullish divergence, and flush patterns kind of come in here. And then this was Draghi's euro announcement that we kind of bounced from, and we've still been stuck in that kind of range that we had printed by that blue professional bar there. And now we've had kind of amateur bars kind of printing at the highs and the lows there, showing that little kind of congestion area. So we'll wait to see. We need a break above today's kind of amateur down bar to see that as a testing bar, and then up and away this way. If we break through the lows, then be looking for this next kind of point down on the professional bar as a place where a lot of decisions will be made as to which way this is going to go. So and then just running through the weekly charts on the risk on charts, and this is why I think at the moment we're kind of running out the clock. It's not as if we're going through a really stellar kind of bull run at the moment. We're just kind of running out the clock. So this is crude, and the support kind of came in a few weeks ago, and we're waiting to find that resistance level, which is going to be key when these cross. Then here's euros, so we've still got that support level, and we're kind of playing out the time here until those kind of cross. Aussie dollar, we're coming closer to a cross here. The Aussie dollar move back up to 105 has been pretty strong, despite me telling it not to do that. But anyway, so coming up to a cross and a resistance point here. Silver, they're going a little bit kind of parallel. You can see here that does end up kind of crossing over the next couple of weeks, but whether that'll be, you know, enough activity to take us above this support level. We're just hanging around this support level, kind of not going anywhere here. Last week's activity was an amateur up bar, and you know, this on gold, it's a little bit clearer. On gold, you know, we're below support, we're coming up to this, support becomes resistance, that amateur up bar into that support level. Kind of when we get this crossover on weekly, you know, the energy will flip to the downside, and because, you know, the bulls took it nowhere over this last sequence, this last kind of run, support to resistance, you know, that means there's kind of stronger energy on the downside that'll kind of take us lower. So all we're doing at the moment, I'm suggesting, is just kind of running out the clock until we get those support levels kind of starting to, those resistance levels starting to come in when we get better sine wave kind of crossing. So we're in this kind of time period where there's very little kind of going on, not a lot of you know, people kind of pushing this up and getting really excited about new kind of bull runs, but you know, we're still waiting for these kind of things to cross. In terms of today's trade, 1500 tip bar chart, my first trade was a short trade, kind of got out after half point loss and reversed and went long. My long trade was entered at 175, which is kind of just here, as this thing was kind of breaking above resistance on the 1500 tip bar chart into a little bit of a trend move. That was such a poor entry, really, that I was kind of trying to squeeze out 4, then 3. Eventually I just ended up with 1. Should have got out here at the flush pattern. So we came back in, pullback, you know, didn't get taken out at the highs here. Pullback kind of comes in, we come back up, amateur up bar. It's a fairly big range, blue professional bar, so kind of unsure what the professionals were doing, whether they were buying the dip on that blue professional bar or getting out the highs. But it came with a flush pattern, and then we kind of quickly kind of sank away. So just got the hell out of Dodge as soon as that started to move against me. Anyway, then Rambo patterns on the 1500 tip bar chart are fairly, you get a couple during the day. They're really, you know, useful patterns, because you can see that it marked the congestion range for the middays kind of activity. So Rambo pattern down here, the amateurs think we're falling into a downtrend. Stopped it right there, and a whole cluster of blue professional bars kind of step in. Professionals buying that dip, we kind of race away to the upside here. I made 1.5 out of this move here, but again we get into a blue professional bar, kind of takes profits. We come back down into that area, another blue professional bar where the professionals were kind of picking it up on that dip, come away again, and then 2 Rambo patterns kind of up here with flush patterns going on, amateur up bars into those highs, and you can just see that that's just marking a just congestion zone there. Again, not very wide, probably 4 points top to bottom in terms of the congestion zone there, and then we kind of come back to test, weak test, bullish divergence, come away to break away to slightly new highs, exhaustion buying, blue professional bars. So tricky day to trade, just kind of in those ranges, particularly if you're looking for kind of 4-point targets. I suppose the thing to do is, once you see it's a low range day, you know, set your target at 2 and get out with 2 and just be done. But you know, it's easy to see in hindsight sometimes, but I thought we would get some kind of explosion of volatility this week, but it just has not happened. So we'll see. Just kind of the thing to do is just to try and make a little, don't lose too much on days like this and weeks like this, and just keep your head down and just wait for the bigger days. Anyway, so hope you traded well today.